Hello and welcome to my shop, such as it is. So this deck box has been assembled. I trimmed these end pieces off camera. I'm actually quite happy with where this one is at right now. It's definitely the best one I've done so far. Very happy with that. But while this glue is curing, because I want to give this overnight to cure up nice and solid before I start sanding it. As you can see, these are just slightly proud right here, so I'm going to have to sand these flush. At least I want to sand them flush. So that's going to take a little bit of time. And I think I want to bring that flush across the top there, but I'll decide on that tomorrow. So I want to let this cure overnight. In the meantime, I'm feeling like I got this process down well enough that I want to try working with the expensive woods, the zebra wood, the padauk, and the tiger wood. And I want to try doing all three at the same time. Now I have my procedure list. So step one would be to resaw them down to 3/8 thickness, which they already are. Step two is to rip them to 3.5 inches wide. Step four is to cut the sides and the front. Step five is to groove the sides. Step five, that was step four. Step five is to cut the hole for the, drill the hole for the magnet. And then step six is to glue up the body. So let's see if we can do three at once. Let's see how this comes. So we'll start by ripping these down to 3.5 is where we're going to start. Once again, we'll get the old table saw out. Man, the problems with having a small shop. What are you going to do? All right. And we have the rip blade in there, which I really need to wash all my saw blades tonight or tomorrow. Get some simple green on them. I think that'll be plenty of space. We don't have to bring the table saw way out for this. So let's set our blade height. The gullet is just clear of the wood. Now we want this to be 3.5. So I'll set my rip fence to 3.5. I'll grab a scrap piece of wood to do a test cut. Can you see what I'm doing over here? Let's bring the camera over a little bit. Here we go. All right, I'm going to make a quick test cut. We'll do a measurement. And then if that's good, I'll rip all three of those down to 3.5 inches wide. So gear up. Yeah, 3.5 inches is what I want. Dust collection on. Saw plugged in. All right, we've got 3.5 inches spot on. Let's get to ripping. I'm not sure which side to rip on this. Either side, I guess. Okay, that's all 3 pieces ripped. Now we need to cross cut. I did order a combination blade today that might be able to handle some of this work instead of having to swap back and forth between a rip blade and a crosscut blade. And see how clean of a cut it makes. If it gives me nice clean rips and nice clean crosscuts, then I'll just use that. Oh, there is at least one cut that I need the rip blade for. And that's making that groove. It's being groovy. All right, we'll lower that down. Put the fence back in. I'm going to vacuum up some of that debris. Just want to make sure that the channels are clear so the crosscut fits in there properly. All right. So let's set our blade height. Here we go. So we need to cut 3 at 4 3/4 inches and 1 at 4 1/4 inches. So let's cut the 4 3/4 inches first. Now, optimally, for 4 3/4. Optimally, what I would do would be to have some kind of template set up that I can just pop into place and always know that I'm getting that cut just right. But let's do a quick test cut here. Nope, that's over. That's considerably too far over. By about 1/4 of an inch. Right, that's slightly under by the kerf of the blade. Like that. There we go. That is just slightly like, yeah, that's about as good as it's going to get. All right, so we need to cut 2 sides and the back. See, we're bumping over here. Move the saw a little bit. And how all nice and exactly the same those are, huh? All right, now the next cut is going to be 4 1/4, so 1/4 inch less than we just did. So let's try doing it this way. I'm going to move this 1/4 inch closer. Should be right to there. All right. I tell you, these setup blocks are incredibly handy. Let's find a piece of scrap wood. We'll make a test cut. That's way off. Oh, it's not. It should have been 1/2 inch closer. You numpty? I'm being very persnickety here because I want this to be right. That looks like it's about a 32nd or a 64th of an inch over. I want to get rid of that variance. So it's too far this way. I need to go that way, literally about that much. Okay, now it is absolutely spot on. I don't know if that's focusing or not. That I'm happy with. So we need to cut one of each to this length. Okay, now that's all the cross cutting we're going to do for right now, for tonight. So we're going to switch back to the ripping blade so I can make the grooves for the lid guides. I mean, this is a little bit of a pain in the ass, but it's not a huge pain in the ass. It's easy enough to do. I mean, it would be cool if there was some kind of quick change mechanism for this. All right, so now we need to pick our sides. I'm going to call that the back and these the sides. I'm going to call that the back and these the sides. I'm going to call these the sides and that the back. These have got kind of like a matching pattern on them. That I think will look nice. All right, now these are going to be, even though we're using the rip blade, they're still going to be cross cuts. And 1/4 inch deep, right? 1/8 inch wide, 1/4 inch deep, 3/8 from the top. So we'll get our 1/4 inch block out. Then we'll check that the saw is unplugged before we touch anything. Okay, 1/4 inch deep. 3/8 from the top. So we want the curve to be, we want that distance to be 3/8. Right? Yeah. Right. So it's going to be 3/8, and then the groove is going to be below the 3/8 for a total of 1/2 inch. So let's set the block up on there. All right, let's make a test cut. Not right. It's too wide. Which means we want the blade, we want it to come this way just a little bit. All right, let's make another test cut. Okay. Okay, that should be it for the table saw for now. So the next thing we want to do, so we don't skip any steps, is drill the holes for the magnets in the backs. This is our smallest Forstner bit. Now I could do this on the drill press, but I don't really think that I need to. I think this will be just fine here with the hand drill because I'm not really going that deep. So that's 3.5 inches wide. So half of 3.5 is 1.5, 1 3/4. Make that the inside. So we want this to be at 1 3/4. One and 3/4. One and 3/4. Now the depth we really want just to be the drill minus just a little bit. So 3/16. And I think I can just eyeball this. Make a little poke. So what I'm doing is I've got my mark. I don't know if that's going to focus or not. And the drill bit has this little pokey coming off the end of it. So what I'm doing is lining that pokey up with my line in there. And then bring the drill bit just so it's down below the top edge. And then just kind of push in with a little pokey to give myself a little pilot hole right there. Maybe at some point I'll set something up on the drill press for this, but I think that might actually take more time than it's going to take to just do it this way. Yeah, this is just as quick and easy, I think. And after I've done this often enough, I think I'll just be able to eyeball it. Like I just did there. My pilot hole is up here. Oh, this wood is really hard to see stuff on. There's so much color and texture. I mean, this doesn't have to be super precise anyway. Just as long as the magnet is flush or just slightly below the surface. And as long as it's reasonably centered, it doesn't actually have to be centered for function. That's just for aesthetics. All right. That away. All right, let's glue these magnets in. Done with those, done with that, done with all the measuring implements for right now. It's cool that the Forstner bit fits like precisely. It's very, very cool. Yes, I'm getting super glue on my fingers. It sands off. Give those a quick spritz. Put the super glue away. Actually, before I put this together, as soon as that evaporates and hardens, I can give this a quick sand, take off the excess. I suppose I could give the whole interior a quick sand, huh? That probably wouldn't hurt. Actually, you know what? Let's do that. Let's do it properly, though. Let's give all the interior parts just a really quick hit with the 220 sandpaper here. Yes, I need to come up with better dust collection for that, but it's just clumsy. It works well. lot of tear out on this one. It's kind of cumbersome to have the vacuum hanging off the back of the sander like that, but it does such a good job of sucking up the dust that it's worth it. All right. Time for the glue up. Glue ups, plural. All right, I'm going to have to come up with a better way to do this. Because as it stands, I'm going to need like 4 clamps per box. That's a lot. That's more than I think. Oh, you know what, though? I don't need a ton of force, so I can use these suckers. In fact, those will probably be perfect because they're the quick ratcheting. All right, let's do the tiger wood first. Actually, you know what? This pattern's kind of off to one side. This pattern's much more centered. I want this to the exterior face. So let me hit that with the sander really quick. Trying to really pay attention to things like grain pattern. Okay. Gluemate. So let's do one side at a time. You see what I'm doing? No, you can't see what I'm doing. Get the camera down so you can see what I'm doing. Yeah. To be careful. You want enough glue, but not, you don't want it like swimming in glue. You want minimal squeeze out. but still enough to make sure you're getting a good bond. James Bond. Right, that's how it works. Yes, yes. Actually, smaller versions of these would be really nice for this. I mean, with jaws that open just as wide, but lighter duty. Yeah, this works though. There probably is a better way I can be doing this, but this works for now. I squeeze, squeeze. It's ever so slightly proud on the top. And bring that in just a little bit. I'm being persnickety here. But the more precise I get this glue up, that's the less work I'll have to do down the road, and the better the finished product will look. So it's worth taking just a little extra time to make sure I'm getting it right. Come on, open up. Take a little bit of pressure off here. There we go. That one down in. That lined up nice and square. All the way down. Flush, flush. Oakley dokley. All right. Just a little bit of squeeze out, which is good. Doesn't look like anything on the inside. All right, that one's glued up. Tigerwood. And I want the stripy bits forward, I think. So this will be this side. I mean, I could have gone with these as the exterior. They're a little more interesting, but I thought the stripes, the parallelism of the stripes there worked really nice. So that's the choice that I made. Was it the right one? Well, I don't know if there is a right and wrong choice with that. Maybe years from now, I'll look back on this moment and say, you know what? Putting the busier pattern on the outside would have made for a more interesting looking box. And I'll be like, you know what, me? You're right. But live and learn. I don't know why I'm flipping these over. I don't really have to, but I don't know. Seems like the thing to do. right. This one in. I mean, these butt joints are a lot faster to cut and a lot easier to glue up. And the way I have them designed, I think they still look just fine. Because the seam along the side isn't super obvious. And it's kind of obscured a bit by the lateral pieces as well. All right. And I really think that's plenty of squeeze. Okay. And last but not least, the Padook. Again, we've got a pair of matching like racing stripes there. I want those both to the front. I really like working with this Padook. It's way nicer than either of those. Feels a lot softer, cuts a lot more easily. Cuts a lot more cleanly. And it's going to look spectacular once I get it, once I get a finish on it. It matters which way we're doing it with this. And these things just barely have the mouth to do this clamping. All right, let's get this other side in. And I want to keep this Padook one for myself now. It's really pretty wood. Really, really pretty wood. Let's get the bottom squared up. Wait, am I short a clamp? I needed 4 of these, not 3. How is it that I only grabbed 3? I mean, what the hell, man? Okay, that feels good. These have way more clamping force than I need for this, but that's okay. It clamped up nice and tight. All right. Wipe off that squeeze out. All right. So that's 3 of the main bodies cut and glued up, making a video while doing it in just under an hour. And I think if I make myself some jigs to work with, so I don't have to measure for the cuts, I could just set the jig up and make the cuts. I could cut that down probably in half, honestly, to be quite honest. So that would be 3 boxes being glued up in half an hour. So we'd be looking at 2 to 3 hours per set. And I could have done more than that. So I think this is viable as a production thing. Anyway, that's it for this video. Next one, I think we'll be finishing this. I kind of want to start on it tonight, but I really should let it sit. So we'll finish this tomorrow. See you in the next video.